So at the time that I'm filming this, there is currently a government shutdown occurring that is causing millions of people. I'm assuming I haven't ran the numbers, but I'm assuming there's a lot of people who are impacted by this, who are not getting paid, who don't know when their next paycheck is coming. Airports are going crazy. I'm concerned about the safety of those who are flying at this moment. You have people who are going without SNAP benefits potentially. You have people who are concerned that their health care is doubling because they've received notices as such. In some cases, some are tripling, which is what's driving this government shutdown. And there's just so much going on. You have inflation, you have just things that are just so unaffordable. Like life just feels like a lot right now at this very moment. Like I could go on and on and on, right? And yet, if you are a frag head like me and you're consuming tons and tons and tons of content where people are talking about the new viral fragrance that's out and how you need to get your nose on this and how you need to check this out, and even this new push towards Middle Easterns, which I'm appreciating because that's what got me into the love of fragrances. Even with that, you still have to consider that, hey, if you're going out and you're buying 4 or 5 new fragrances every paycheck, can you afford to sustain that or to keep up with the trends? Because it feels like there's like 50 million new fragrances that are coming out every week. And so if you feel the need and the tension to get them all, how are you managing that when most people are just struggling to just make ends meet and have food? And thank God some of us are in privileged positions where our basic needs are taken care of. And so you do have a little wiggle room to splurge. But the question is, should we? During this time when people are losing jobs left and right, AI is replacing jobs. There's just so much that's going on. Consumerism is slowing down to a certain extent, but that's also causing certain companies to want to lean their workforce out. And a lot of people are going into this new economy unemployed, having a hard time finding jobs, especially if you're in tech or some of these industries where they're not like a million jobs available. It's like, should we be spending money on fragrances right now, or should we be stacking our coins and making sure that we have the means to weather whatever storm is on its way? And I don't see many people talking about this in the fragrance industry or world or social media world right now. I know I'm a newcomer to this world. I literally only got like 3 shorts at this moment that I'm recording this, but I've been wanting to do this for the longest. And I've really been feeling just the push to finally just jump right in and open this channel and review the fragrances, but also talk about things that are meatier than just fragrance, right? Things that actually matter, things that I feel like are not being said, that we're all thinking, but nobody's saying it because either you don't want to be controversial, or fragrance is just one of those worlds where you just go to escape. So you don't want to be too heavy to begin with. But I kind of just want to be the one that just adds something different. If this is not the channel for you, if you don't want to come here and hear about topics that are a little bit heavier than your heavy fragrance that you love, your Bianco lattes. But if you know, you know. But sometimes I want this channel to be a place where we not only discuss things that may be in the back of your mind that you may be thinking about or wondering about, but you don't feel like anybody's addressing, but also to leave feeling encouraged and hope after we discuss these topics. And if you're wondering who I am, what this channel's all about, why is it called Faith and Fragrances, Let's get into that real quick, and then we're going to jump into today's topic. Okay, so my name is Deanna Tiffany. I am a CPA, fun fact, right? Certified public accountant for those who don't know. And I currently work a 9 to 5 job in corporate America as an accountant in internal audit. But I've been through this journey of leaving corporate, going into industry, going into helping small businesses, getting my cosmetology license, and doing a lot of atypical stuff that you would not expect an accountant with the big four accounting background to be doing. Like, who leaves their six-figure job and then go get a cosmetology license to go be a hairstylist, right? Like, people not doing that. But for me, I have been on this pursuit or this journey of walking with God, figuring it out what it is his purpose and his plan is for me, and taking those leaps of faith, trusting him along the way, learning to listen to him along the way, because some of those things that I did, God didn't tell me to do. But along this journey, it's been a pursuit of purpose where I've been trying to craft and live this life that someone coming up behind me, someone who is coming from nothing, who is coming from the hood, who's coming from the south side of Chicago, where, you know, you're used to hearing gunshots every night, and it's just that's what your sound, that's what your Ring sound machine is gunshots, right, in the background. Or pow pow shots, my bad, I forgot I'm on YouTube, Jesus. But and that, let me caveat that, because that's not all of Chicago. Let me be clear, because you know we Chicagoans, we get a bad rap. Okay, there is some dangerous areas. I came from one of them. Lord bless. Right. I'm currently in Houston now, so that's a whole nother story for a whole nother day. Go watch my other video if you want to know a little bit more about my journey and why I'm doing all those things. But to cut to the chase, okay. I am someone who feels that following and pursuing what it is that God is calling for your life is paramount. It doesn't matter what industries you're in, what you may be doing, or whatever the case may be. And I do believe that he's calling us, a lot of us, into the marketplace, into business, into commerce. And I'm going to address that a little bit towards the end of this video, because you may be thinking like, where are we going with this? And I got you. Follow me. What I intend to bring to this world of fragrance, to this community that I have grown to love and adore, is I want to bring a little bit more depth, nuance, and some things to move people who may be feeling forgotten, especially by your creator, who may be feeling hopeless, who may be feeling lost, who may need just like a little bit more of like a pick me up and some fragrance reviews and here and there. But I really want to, because of who I am, I can't move into a space and not bring some type of depth. Like, I'm one of those people that doesn't do well at small talk. Like, I'm one of those people that, you know, you're saying, "Oh, hi, how's your name? What's your name? Oh, okay, cool. How's the weather? This weather's been crazy, huh?" I'm like, "Okay, yeah." But tell me about your what is the weather in your life doing okay? Like, is everything okay in the family? Like, why you just jumping? You know, like I'm one of those people that just a little bit go a little bit too deep sometimes. But I want to give you that forewarning just in case you're like, this is too much, right? But I'm also saying that because I am doing this from a sense of real purpose. I didn't just up and decide that I want to just be a fragrance influencer for the sake of just being a fragrance influencer. I've been on a journey where I've been trying to find my path and trying to figure out where I feel graced and where I feel like God's hand is on my life, and I've been getting Like I just my love for fragrances over the past 2 years has been growing insane to the point of addiction. And it's been I took a time off this year to like just stay away from fragrance content, stay away. And I saw myself like kind of diving into a depression, if you will. And when I went back and started looking at fragrance content again, there was something about it that just lifted my spirits. There was something about it that just restored some type of joy in me for even for a moment, right? And I realized that this is an area where I think God is trying to do something with me, trying to leverage this for his glory in the end. Because at the end of the day, that's what I think all of us, our purpose is here for. But that was a long tangent to explain why I'm doing these things, why I'm talking about what I'm talking about, and who I am as a channel. Okay. So now that we got that out the way, let's talk about the topic at hand. Okay. People are broke. Hey, people are broke. And it seems like every week there's a new fragrance going viral. This week it just so happens to be Vanilla 01. I tried to go to my local Middle Eastern fragrance store because I was like, I gotta go on a Friday. I gotta wait till I get my paycheck. I gotta wait till I get my paycheck. And I get there and it's sold out. And I'm like, yo, like I was really like looking forward to it, right? Because that Amazon price, I'm not here for. I'm not here for. Okay. And I don't want to order from Swiss Arabian. I want to get it in person. Okay. Because I thank God for the privilege of having a Middle Eastern store in my area. Okay. But there's just always a new fragrance that everybody is like, oh, you got to get your nose on it. You got to get your nose on this. And the problem with that is that there are more fragrances than there are funds to fund the fragrance. Y'all with me? Y'all with me? There's just so many that I will put my nose on, right? And maybe I'm buying samples and I'm doing this. I'm going on Carey, I'm going on Etsy, whatever I'm going on. And I'm getting my nose on these things and I'm like, oh, I gotta have it. Or I'm listening to this creator and they're just going through their hauls. And I'm like, y'all posting 3 videos a week. And you mean to tell me that you got 20 new fragrances in each of these videos? Now, I understand some of these are PR, and that's another thing that we have to keep in mind when we're thinking about this. But some of these fragrances, they are purchasing out of pocket, okay? Some of these creeps, some of these amouage, like some of the like what are we doing? Where are y'all getting these coins? Okay. Let me know what job you working so I could go sign up, put in the application. Because I'm trying to understand how y'all got the funds to purchase 4 or 5 new $300 and plus and over fragrances every week. Okay. And to be honest, sometimes it does make me feel some type of way. It makes me feel some type of way because I'm just like, dang, I wish I had the funds to be able to buy more fragrances. Like, I wish that I could just have an endless fragrance budget. Like, and then in my first world, like privileged mind, I'm like, oh my God, my life is so hard because I can't afford fragrances. Like, that is out of control. Because guess what? Most of my people, they from Jamaica. Right now, they're happy for food. Right now, they're happy for life. Right now, they're happy that their home didn't get damaged, right? Our family home, like it didn't get damaged. Like, that's what they're happy for right now. And I'm over here crying about not being able to try out the 3 new viral fragrances that got released yesterday. Like, it's ridiculous. But this is what consumerism does when we're watching all of these fragrance reviewers talk about these endless amount of fragrances and fragrances and fragrances and talking about you really like this was the one you really need. Like, you need this. Like, if you're in love with florals and you like a good gourmand in the background, you need to get your nose on this. You need and you really be like, dang, I really need to get my nose on this. Like, what am I doing? What are we doing? Okay. And here's the problem. Okay? On top of the obvious, with where things are going, things are already a little weird, a little funky, okay? Already dealing with inflation, already dealing with uncertainty in the economy. But I don't even think we're aware or ready for the coming wave of job displacement that is going to come as a result of AI. There are going to be a lot of people who are in mundane jobs right now that if they don't learn how to reskill and remarket themselves, they're going to be in a pickle. And if we are not prepared for that as a community, my concern is that this will blindside and take a lot of people out. But I have solutions. It's not all endless doom and gloom. I have solutions, right? But before we get into the solutions that I'm proposing for this whole debacle that could be on the horizon, first let's get into this whole Mariah Carey thing, because y'all saw it in the thumbnail. You was probably like, is she ever going to talk about this or not? Like, what are we doing? Okay. Because the question is, okay, so based on everything that's happening, should we stop buying? Should we stop supporting these big brands that are just trying to take our money, and they're not concerned about what it's doing to us as people, as consumers, as Americans? Like, should we be concerned, and should we just stop buying altogether? Or should we stop and like giving into supporting these influencers who are trying to lead us into consumerism, right? Like, should we stop watching this content altogether? Like, what should we do? And I want to address, like, I want to touch on, like, for example, the whole thing with Mariah Carey. Now, if you do not know, okay, she did a campaign with Sephora. Okay, go ahead and look it up. It's going viral. It's going viral. Go ahead and look it up. And in that campaign, if you will, essentially, she's doing her whole "it's time," that thing. But she hit the note that I'm not about to hit today, because we're not doing that, okay? But she hits the note, and then all of a sudden it looks like these bags got turned over and some items got stolen. I think it was some Dior fragrances. I don't know. Some blush. I don't know. It was some stuff in there, okay? And stuff got stolen, and it pans over to this elf, right? Who's saying, I'm taking this, right? And I'm going to pawn it to be able to afford my therapy, because I'm going on strike, right? Because y'all not paying me. Y'all not doing this. Da, 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 da. Very uncomfortable to watch, because I'm like, where are we going with this? Hey, what are we doing? It's very uncomfortable, because this is really happening to people at this moment. So are we going to just like make fun of it? Because it's like they're doing it in a satire way. And I think the commercial didn't land. Like, I don't know what their intention was. I never tried to subscribe to knowing someone's true intention. I don't know what their intention was with that particular ad, right? But it got a lot of people riled up and up in arms. And a lot of people are saying, hey, we should just boycott Christmas. We should boycott Black Friday, boycott Sephora, cancel them, cancel all of it, hit them where in the pockets where it hurts the most, right? And so I'm wondering, because I don't see anyone in this fragrance community necessarily addressing it, because everybody's coming out with their, well, what you should buy at Sephora for VIB sale type thing. And I'm just really like, okay, so we're not going to talk about this. We're not going to address this, because I think it's worthy to address. Like, you have fragrance influencers trying to influence people to go buy things, but then you have these other people that saying, no, we're putting our foot in the stand because people are really suffering right now. We don't need fragrances, we need food. And that's fair. But here's the thing. The question I have is, should we stop supporting and buying things from businesses altogether? Which businesses are we going to not support? Like, where does that line draw? Because one, for me, outside of the economic thing of this all, outside of the socio-political environment. I personally went on a no buy fragrance break this whole year, like for most of the year. And I saw my mood and my mental well-being take a physical drop. Like legit. Like I got on antidepressants. Like I for real, like there was a lot that I just saw I was struggling with because I realized that the dopamine hits that I would get from like trying new fragrances and getting my nose on them, and then the feelings that they give you when you sniff them and you indulge, like I realized that I was missing that. I was missing looking at Sharita talk about her favorite vanillas and listening to Sheree's lifestyle talk about Valaya. And I move on. Like I was missing that. I was missing it. I remember how much joy it brought me, and I couldn't listen to those people because every time I listen to them, I want to go buy fragrances. So I had to like turn it off. And what it showed me is that there is a value add that I actually get from these products. It's like I'm not anti consumerism, anti capitalism per se, right? I'm not against that, right? I think, me personally, that commerce is an exchange of value, and that's what it should be. The issue is, when left unchecked, humans be humaning, sin nature sins, and people give into their greed. People give into their desire for more. Just like I have this desire for more fragrances, people who are addicted to money, people who are addicted to more, it's never enough to satiate their soul. And if we want to go there, that's why I really believe that Jesus is the only thing that can really satiate that desire and that hunger that we have in our soul. But we're not going to talk about that just at this moment. Okay, we're going to pause and put a pin in that. But when it comes to consumerism, the issue comes when people are being abused. The issue comes when leadership doesn't take care of their employees, or when the leaders of these huge companies try to do things at the expense of their consumers, or they're not concerned about adding value for value's sake. They're concerned about just trying to get whatever they can get from their people. But if we go back to the basics of business, and if we go back to the fundamentals of business as an exchange of value, I think that there is something valuable about me being able to receive a fragrance and me being able to support a business. Now, ideally, this is where I want to go with this. Ideally, I don't think that we should necessarily stop spending money on fragrances and buying fragrances, because at the end of the day, the money that we spend on these fragrances fuels the money that is going to somebody's job. And the thing is, we can boycott and do all these things and make people's bottom lines go down. Cool. But we also got to think about the people who are going to be losing their jobs as a result of that. Now, I'm not saying cry a river for a billionaire who has no concept of money or no concept of what it means to struggle anymore. Like, I'm not saying that. I'm concerned about the people who may be displaced from jobs and may not be able to find another one in this here economy. Not only that, but I think that we need to get back to supporting small businesses. Like, we need to get back to supporting each other. So my thing is, support your favorite influencer. Support them. Purchase their links within your means, okay? Let's be clear. Right now, I'm in the season where I'm rocking with the Middle Easterns. I'm rocking with the budget houses. I'm rocking with the people, the small business owners on Etsy and the on Carey who are doing decants and stuff like that. I'm even trying to get into a decant. I'm going to be very transparent. I want to build my own decanting business. Like in my ideal world, that is what I would love to do. Right. And for me, the reason I want to do it is one, because I love experiencing as many fragrances as possible. And I want to create more ways for other people to experience as many fragrances as possible without spending $50 million on coins that they ain't got to spend. Okay. But here's the thing, a decanting business is very low margins. Okay. And it's very labor intensive. So if I really wanted to make real money, there are other things that I could do very easily, like actually do taxes like I was doing, right? Actually doing bookkeeping and budgeting and forecasting and planning, CFO, outside CFO services, like that. Sure, that's going to give me a lot of money, but I don't feel graced for that because I have this passion over here that it just won't die. It just won't die. And on top of that, where we are going, I want us to get more comfortable with supporting each other. I want you to be able to have your own side business or side hustle or whatever the case may be, or to build your own thing as well, not only just for the safety and security of your own family, because you don't know how many more days or weeks or months you got left in your job. You know what I mean? You don't know what's coming around the corner. I think everybody should have something that gives them a little bit of cushion in the event, or helps them to save faster in the event that something goes wrong in the economy that we're going into. But two, I also think that we need to learn the skills of trade and commerce again. We have been crippled by our current school system that was designed by Henry Ford to basically create factory workers to work for his factory, just for mere production. So he wanted to create something that teaches them how to become a cog in the system, how to follow orders, how to just learn how to be told what to do and just do it, and show up every day and have 2 days off on the weekend so that they could have more time to go spend money on the cars and then come right back to work again to do the same old, same old. That's what school was created for, our current structure of school. It wasn't created so that we can learn commerce. It wasn't created so that we can learn negotiation skills, so that we can learn how to trade and barter like people were doing before this new world concept of 9-to-5 jobs. That was not a thing. That was not a thing prior to 1800. It wasn't. People were buying, selling, trading, marketplaces. That's what's been the normal way that people have been able to survive for the past few hundreds of years of humanity existence. And my fear is that because our school system has stripped us of our ability to learn how to buy and sell, trade, create skills that benefit other people, we're going to be in a situation where we'll be in a very, fragile place where we have to depend on the government or all these other places to take care of us if we don't know or have the skill of learning how to go into the marketplace, how to market something, how to show somebody else why it's valuable to them and why they should invest their hard-earned money for it. And so with all of these things being taken into consideration, I really think that that's the solution. I think that we should support more of each other. We should really be a community. Like, stop being so independent, Miss Independent. Stop being so siloed. Stop, be mindful. Like some people complain about influencers getting on here. Like it sounded like I was probably doing at the beginning of this video, but people complain sometimes about influencers getting on and having links and doing all these things, but it's just like, put yourself in their shoes, right? I'm pretty sure you will want to be paid for the amount of time that you're putting towards something. Even if it is your passion, you still would like to have something that can make money outside of your normal everyday, right? And right, for your job, consider your job where you're currently getting paid. If people don't invest in the business that you currently work for, if people don't buy and sell with the business you currently work for, you won't have a job. So at some point, we have to have the exchange of money. My goal is that we don't exchange money at the expense of other people, but for the benefit of other people. That's my goal. So for me, yes, I would love to be able to have all the excess funds to try all the fragrances. I would love to. But I also want to create something that can fund all of the things that I want to see change in the world. For example, this school system that I just talked about, I have a passion to contribute to the change so that our kids, our next generation, will be better equipped for what's coming. Because I don't think we are. Right? But I can't do that without funds or being beholden to asking for funds from somebody else. And if I make my thing asking for funds, that becomes my new full-time job. And that pulls me away from the thing that gives me the energy to put in that extra work. Because this is not easy. Pressing play, putting on this camera, knowing that you don't even know if more than 2 people are going to watch it, that's not easy. Putting yourself out there, putting in the time to do something like this, it's not easy. But it's the passion that I have that fuels my desire to do it anyway. So if you're spending your time, like, I don't want to spend my time begging people for money to fuel my dream. I want to spend my time providing a valuable service that you're throwing your money at me to get the benefit that I'm talking about. Okay? So that's my convoluted thoughts. Let me look at my notes to see if there's something I did not address. My thing is, we have to focus more on helping each other than hurting each other. I think there's a heavy emphasis on canceling people versus contributing to people. So cool, cancel who you don't want to be supported, but who are you going to support in return? Because there are a lot of people who are in need of support right now. So that's my philosophy. That's where I'm at with this. And I want to leave y'all with a Bible verse too, because I know that there are a lot of people who feel like money is evil. And yes, the Bible talks about the love of money being evil, which I talked about before, when greed corrupts the human heart, like that's when things become a problem. But money is very much so necessary, because like God told his people to take care of each other. Like, use that money to help those who are in need, who need from you. You know what I mean? So money in and of itself is not inherently evil. It's just what people do with it, right? So I want to talk about how the Bible talks a lot about commerce and buying and selling. And there's this verse that I always go back to because it really hits me in Proverbs. So Proverbs 11:26. And if you don't know what Proverbs is, Proverbs was literally written by the richest man to ever live on earth, literally. And the person who made him rich was God himself. So there's that. But when you look at what he wrote in his wisdom literatures, which is like Proverbs is one of them, he talked a lot about like poverty and prosperity and a lot of things like that. And he said, people curse those who hoard their grain, but they bless the one who sells in time of need. Now, it could have said, people curse those who hoard their gain, but they bless the ones that give away in the time of need. They could have said that, but no, it said sells. And here's the reason. If somebody has grain And let's say that there's a time of need, that the food is short. You could give away all the grain that you have at the moment, but if you don't have money to replace the grain that you gave away, you just gave away and now there's no more to give. Versus when you sell something, you have money to reinvest it to make more so that you can keep the service going. And I think that's something that's important for us to think about in this world of consumerism. There is a side of it where we have to focus more on producing than consuming. And so I'll leave with this. I want to leave you guys with this. One, what my sense of the day is, because of course I'm not going to let y'all go with that. We are wearing Shag-Off Oud Elixir. I don't know if y'all can see that. Yes, Shag-Off Oud Elixir. So if you may have been familiar with the regular Shag-Off Oud, but the elixir, oh man, it smooths out all those harsh corners that was in the regular Shag-Off Oud. And that's why I love this so much. It's giving that oudi praline, a little bit of hints of like some florals in the background, but it's giving all of that to me, that vanilla. It's giving that for me. So maybe not blind buy safe. So check out your favorite decanter. If you guys want any fragrances that I talk about here, I will be starting a decant situation that I will link below whenever it's ready. And if you want to check that out as well. But yeah, we don't need to be, even if it's only $30, we don't need to spend $30 we ain't got. But if it's $5, we can do that, right? If you want to get your nose on a whole bunch of things. So that's one thing that I want to leave you with. But second thing I want to leave you with is, you may not be into religion. You may not be into all of that extra. And to be frank, I'm not either. Okay. The Bible is about a kingdom. Okay. It's not even about a necessary religion with rules and laws and stuff like that. It's about a king who has a kingdom, and he created these people to be in communion with him, to do life with him. He could have had his angels and just been cool, right? But no, he wanted to create us to have communion with us, to be in relationship with us. Unfortunately, some little snake, literal snake, came around and started deceiving us and getting into our ear and disconnected us from our creator. But he had a master plan. He came and died to reconcile that relationship between us and our Father, us and our Heavenly Father. So if you don't know who Jesus is, I pray that you have a conversation with him. You get to know him. You just open up and you just pray and say, God, if you're real, reveal yourself to me. That's all you have to do to start off. If you don't have the faith that he's real, but if you do have the faith, you can, and you're ready to take that next step, I just hope that you pray, Jesus, I acknowledge you as the Savior who died for my sins and rose again on the third day. And I want to accept you as my personal Lord and Savior. And I promise you, he is the God where you knock, he will answer. He will never leave you abandoned. He does not hate you. He has love for you beyond what you can understand or conceptualize. I don't care what religious people are telling you. I don't care who's trying to condemn you. That's not God trying to condemn you. So I just want to reintroduce you to the one who really loves you, the one who could really bring you joy in these hard times, the one who can give you lasting joy that these fragrances can't give. Okay, so that's all. That's my soapbox for today. I will see you guys in the next one. All right, bye.